basically. So it began in 2015, where a team of 4 Interactors, 2 Rotaractors, 5 Rotarians, and a Rotarian Magazine reporter traveled to Vietnam and distributed 2,400 soccer balls to schools, orphanages, and youth soccer programs. So with that, RVP was born. And yeah, you'll see here, we actually have Sue in the picture. And that was one of the past RVP boards. Here's a picture of all of our advisors. We have Jamie, Sue, Avis, Nick, Marianne, and Han. And along with our Rotarians, we also have a board of Interactors, and this is a picture of one of the past boards. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to get together because of the coronavirus, but we are all working virtually to try to make sure that we can do our best with this project. And throughout the years, we have gone on many service trips, bringing along Rotarians and students from RVP, which is what I'll be talking about now. Our team has presented our project to thousands of Rotarians at the international conventions in Seoul, Korea, Toronto, Canada, and Atlanta in the United States. For these service trips, we raise our own expenses, so they are not paid out of the scholarship donations that Rotarians make to our project.
Part of the support for the education for the girls, and it's a few boys, but primarily girls in Vietnam, is that there is a summer camp every July, and we've gone every year, not this year, obviously. This group photo is from the 2019 trip where 720 girls attended the summer camp. And our interactors and Rotarian advisors gave various workshop skills. In the lower right, you can see Jamie Heckelman, who is a member of the Rotary Club of Los Gatos, and she's a certified ESL teacher. Next slide. Other project life skills that we've taught, Nick Leon from San Jose East Evergreen teaches a class in self-defense. We also take with us donations of t-shirts from many, many Rotary events that have dates on them. So once the event is over, that t-shirt's not really relevant to Rotary here anymore. We take hundreds of them and give them away. And these girls are literally so poor that even the addition of one t-shirt to their wardrobe is a big deal. We found out at that 2019 camp that one girl had dropped out just before the camp, and they found out later the reason why was because she only had one pair of sandals, rubber flip-flops, and they'd broken. And her parents literally did not have $1 to buy her a new pair of sandals, and they were too embarrassed to send her to summer camp barefoot. So now, to the extent possible, that will never happen again.
So now that you know a bit about who we are and also about our past service trips, I'd like to talk about our accomplishments. So we've sponsored annual $350 scholarships that cover the tuition, supplies, and health insurance for the Vietnamese girls. So we raise money so that Pacific Links can actually provide these resources to make sure that the at-risk Vietnamese youth can stay in school. And this has actually totaled up to $6,300 worth in scholarships. I realize here now that I'm sounding a bit confusing myself, but basically we have been able to donate 210 scholarships, each worth $350. In addition to that, we have also distributed over 2,700 soccer balls, and these soccer balls are ultra durable. And so by providing underprivileged communities with these soccer balls, they'll be able to engage in the power of play for a long time. These soccer balls are just another way for us to raise money in order for us to better fund the Vietnamese girls with their educations. And although we couldn't travel to Vietnam this past summer, so we weren't able to do our annual service trips, the Rotary Vietnam Project has donated $80,000 to fund top students for intensive English study. And fluency in English is very essential um, for for the youth in Vietnam to land a good job after school. We're also the first District 5170 youth program to be featured in the Rotarian Magazine. Here you can see one of our advisors, Nick, shaking the boy's hand in the picture to the left. And this was taken when they distributed soccer balls.
Pound sign 1957.
Moving on, we'll be taking a look at our past events. So on your left is a picture of our Interact board with the Milpitas Chief of Police at the November 2019 gala dinner. There we raised money for our cause by auctioning cakes and pies. Actually, we managed to auction them for hundreds of dollars each. So it was a huge success, and we were able to raise over $12,000 that night. In the center is a picture of our previous board running a boba stand fundraiser at the annual Interact Fall Leadership Conference at Independence High. And the last one is a screenshot of our online social campaign that we held in order to raise awareness about human trafficking. And here are some fundraisers from our past year. We held a movie night for Crazy Rich Asians and a boba fundraiser at Yucha. We also held a paint and sip fundraiser and held an event for the Vietnamese Mid-Autumn Festival. So throughout the years of RVP's existence, we have managed to fundraise over $250 for our cause. And this, in addition to fundraisers, this comes from the strong support that Rotary Clubs have shown us, not only from our district, but from other Rotary Clubs around the world. And we also have a generous donor who matches all of our fundraising. So this means that any donation that you make will really help us with our cause because it becomes doubled. So yeah. And this fundraising has also helped us apply for 2 global grants from the Rotary Foundation, which Sue will talk about next.
So as you may know, to qualify for a Rotary grant, you have to be able to raise over $30,000. And we were really surprised the first year we actually started fundraising that we met and exceeded that goal. So that set the stage for us to prepare to apply for Rotary grants in the future, which we're in the process right now. We've applied for 2 grants of $50,000 each of DDF. So those will be matched dollar for dollar. So hopefully we'll have $200,000 coming back for our projects. Again, as you may know, you have to partner with a club that's not in the US. We're partnering with one club in Singapore and one club in Sri Lanka. Next slide. So as part of my business, about 4 years ago, I was invited by the Ministry of Health to come to Sri Lanka and speak at a medical conference. And my hostess from Sri Lanka in the lower right-hand corner was a Rotarian, it turned out, named Publicity, who is now their incoming district governor for next year. And in the lower left, Avis Lagrone, a good friend of mine and good supporter of the project. When I found out I was going to Sri Lanka, I said, you know, Avis, you want to come along and have passport, we'll travel. Avis said yes. She met me in Vietnam and then we continued on to Sri Lanka. During the time of that business trip there, it happened to be the same time as the District Foundation dinner. So Publicity helped us get tickets. We were able to go, and President Ian Risley was presenting at that District Foundation dinner. And we got to meet about 450 Rotarians that night, give away a soccer ball. And the gentleman standing to my left shoulder to the right here is from the Downtown Colombo Rotary Club that is now our partner on this global grant. So those of you newer to Rotary, this is just the magic networking that can happen as a Rotarian, where once you're a member, you're welcome at all the thousands of Rotary clubs all over the world. Back to you, Catherine.
So I'm going to talk about our plans for this year. So obviously we have to make some changes, seeing as though everything has to take place mostly online. And we have a very good program this year, the Pacific Links English Conversation Tutoring Program. We have partnered with Pacific Links to help provide this service, and we have a lot of volunteers that are involved in this program, myself included. And RVP, along with Pacific Links, will help keep track of these service hours. We also plan on awarding certificates to participants in the program to thank them for their service, and even Rotarians can tutor as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, I highly encourage you to get involved. And we're only teaching conversational English, so you don't need any special training to do it. Besides tutoring, we can also help raise money for RPP by sponsoring a tutor. It's totally up to you how much you want to pay the tutors, but a general estimate might be around $25 for 10 hours. And again, because we have a matching donor, that $25 becomes $50. So your contributions and your support are really amplified, and it really does help our cause. Here are some pictures or screenshots of our tutors. There's some tutors that are involved in the program. And additionally, these are just like, I guess, the general brainstorm of some virtual events we hope to implement. So we want to hold service events to help survivors of human trafficking by either sending cards or holding donation drives for hygiene products. Secondly, we also hope to host webinars and conferences over Zoom in order to reach more people, to tell them about our cause and spread awareness about human trafficking and RVP. Finally, we want to hold social events such as movie nights, paint and craft nights, or game nights so that people can get together and we can introduce more people to RVP's cause. And I also know, this isn't mentioned on the slide, but I also know that our co-chairs, they are trying to implement like this RVP hub, and we want to get both Rotarians and Interactors more involved in our cause. So if that's something that you're interested in, I can give you more information about that. We're planning to implement it, I think, by the end of January, mid-February, around that time. And our goal this year is to have our committee members perform a total of 125 service hours. So now let's take a look at our fundraising plan. This year, our plan is centered around 4 main parts. So first off, our RVP fundraisers. The Rotary Vietnam Project is split into 4 main divisions: Northern, Eastern, Southern, and Western. This is Interact District 5170. And each division has a fundraising coordinator that will help organize fundraisers within their areas. We will also be applying to grants and sponsorships to help provide scholarships to the Vietnamese youth that we support. And we will also be selling merch. So last year, I know, you'll actually see that in the next slide. Last year, we sold bamboo straws in order to help fundraise for RVP. And we also have many ideas to host virtual and potentially in-person fundraisers, like virtual auctions, virtual races, virtual talent shows, and also partnering up with restaurants to hold dine and donate fundraisers. Here is our merch, one of our merch sales from last year. We sold bamboo straws and actually this was with our boba fundraiser at FLC. So our goal this year is to raise a total of $50,000, and hopefully we'll be able to achieve this through our fundraisers and grants. Here is our media and publicity plan. We're hoping to really build and establish our presence this year through our website, Instagram, and our Facebook. For the website, we're hoping to provide information about our events and also about human trafficking in order to educate more people. And our student webmasters will help us with this. And with our publicists, we're hoping to post more on Instagram and Facebook, and maybe even team up with other organizations to promote each other. And in the next slide, I'll be showing you just some of our links and information. So if you like to contact us or stay updated with our cause, then that's how you can look, you can do it. Here's just some of our information and platforms. And I'll go back to this after Sue helps me conclude the presentation.
So this is my favorite slide from Vietnam. It just shows how innovative the Vietnamese students are. If you need to practice your math problems on a Sunday and you don't have a blackboard, you can call on your friendly neighborhood water buffalo to help you out. And I'd just like to add some new information we've been putting together to help demonstrate the sustainability of this project to the Rotary Foundation for our grant. Pacific Links, our partner in Vietnam, has assembled data showing the number of girls that go through our program, stay in school and graduate versus those just under the national health system that frequently drop out, and they're therefore even more and more susceptible to trafficking. Vietnam is particularly vulnerable to trafficking for a couple of reasons. There's a shared border with Cambodia to the west, and Cambodia has had a sex trafficking industry for generations. But interestingly, the shared border to the north with China, after generations of the one child kill the girl baby policy, has now such a profound gender imbalance of males. There are 35 million men in China that will never have a bride, never have a wife. So if you're the well-to-do Rotarian upper middle class couple with your treasured adult son, you can't find a bride for your son to marry, so you're not going to have a grandchild. And this is anathema in Asian culture particularly. So the trafficker comes along and offers you the young Vietnamese girl as the bride, very much in quotes, the bride for your family. She's there to produce your grandchild, at which point she's an almost more valuable commodity since she's proven fertile, and she'll be sold on to the next family to do it again. So this is what we're preventing by keeping the students in school, providing them with an education that enhances their employment opportunities and really dials down and informs them about the tricks of traffickers and how to avoid it. Our partner in Vietnam has a number that any girl or her family can call anytime when she's offered a job, and they can check it out and find out, is this a real job or is this going to land you in the back of a truck going across the border? So thank you for your time. We'd love to entertain questions. Oh, Roger, when was your roast and toast? What year was that? You and then Angie. Roger, you have to unmute yourself. The reason
my roast and toast was, hey, Rick, my roast and toast was 2011. Angie's was 2014.
Okay, because that
So we were in Vietnam with Brad and you when the Rotary Convention was in Bangkok.
The reason I asked, that picture we showed of our first team, that photograph was taken at the Roast and Toast. And thank you, Catherine. That photograph was taken at the Roast and Toast in 2015. We were there for the barbecue and then left from the Roast and Toast to the airport to fly out to San Francisco.
Question, I know in Myanmar and Cambodia, most of the girls I've heard about who've been taken in this kind of program, many of them come from the northern area of the country that abuts China and also has a number of farms that are in rather stretched economic situations. Is that the same situation in Vietnam?
It's true to the extent that many of the victims come from poor rural communities, right? And part of the magic of the program that we're supporting is that they'll go to the parents and offer them a contract. They'll say, look, we're going to sign a 5-year contract with you that we're going to support your daughter's education so that you understand that that education has more value to your family than her working in the rice field during the day. And don't believe those stories of somebody that comes and tell you they've got a job for your daughter as a maid in a foreigner's house in Cambodia, because guess what? It ain't that kind of house.
Yeah, good.
So, and the money doesn't go to the parents. The money goes to the actual things needed for the education. Even if you go to public school in Vietnam, you must wear a uniform. The parents don't have the money for the uniform. They don't, the Department of Education in Vietnam has about $1.53 per kid for school supplies. That's not enough. In today's world, they may need a tablet. They may need a bicycle when they're physically going to school. These are all the things that go into supporting that child's education.
So can I ask a clarifying question? Who is truly like leading this project? Is it you, Sue, with Interact under you? Or is it Interact with Sue as a support system?
Well, no, me and the Rotary advisors, particularly Avis Legrone and Nick Leon, we founded the Rotary Vietnam Project. And, but we have found that essential in getting our message out was Interact. When we had that opportunity the first year, we got basically a $60,000 donation of a 20-foot container of those soccer balls. And that container was going to Vietnam. And I thought, well, what better way to distribute it than by taking Interactors to give it out to their peers?
Yeah. So with that being said, what I suggest, because what I find, I don't find anything more powerful than a youth taking on this leadership role. I would love to hear more. I love what you're saying, but I would love to hear that educated portion come out of one of the youth's mouths and being like that, being the advocate of this program, because that's really where we're like, we buy in. I buy into it, at least. I would like the education to be passed on, you know, building the legacy and growing it so it's sustainable.
Right. We're at a little bit of a disadvantage this year because we couldn't take our Interactors to the International Convention. That's where they pick up a lot of the poise and the information behind it all.
Yeah. It's just my 2 cents. That's all. It's okay.
We couldn't do it without them. They really get the word out among the Interactors in our district. And now they're reaching out beyond our district as well.
Yep, I love it. Thank you.
I have a question about the conversation in English, the tutors and the
Brian, you're not
sponsors.
qualified.
Thank you. So where do you get, I mean, do you have something where people go there, you know, like a link, an email?
Yeah, email us and we'll connect you with our coordinator in Pacific Links. You have to do like an hour of orientation, and then you set the time when you're online with your student in Vietnam.
Okay.
Catherine, are you actually doing it right now?
Well, I was in first semester, but I like originally I set it so that it would end in December because I wasn't sure how my schedule would look. I'm a bit busy now, but I'm planning to pick it up later after I'm done with all this competition season stuff.
Do you happen to know how many Interactors we have doing it right now? I'm not sure, but we have a lot of people on the RVP board who are involved in the tutoring program.
Okay, great. Any more questions?
Well, hey, you know what? When you say you're at a disadvantage, I think that actually you can use it as your advantage, because you got plenty of people saying they got nothing to do these days. They're just stuck at home. So here's something for you to do, an hour a day.
It's true.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah, and
else?
then with everything being online, it's much easier for people to attend like orientations and things like that, which I find is much easier. Like if this was during the normal school year, I wouldn't be able to speak to so many clubs because I'd have
Right.
to like go to these physical locations, but I have school, so it's much more difficult. But like I can actually talk to different Rotary clubs because everything's online now.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you reaching out to us. Thank you for sharing.
Oh,
Thank you.
Are there any other questions, comments, or anything from the club? Or Roger,
good to
you
see-
always have something to say.
It's good to see all of you.
Yeah,
And
you
you.
too.
You too.
Look at Roger's lost a little bit.
I know, he's looking good.
I
During
know.
Christmas, can you imagine?
I know. I gained 12 pounds. Okay,
well,
I do
we'll
have
let
some,
Catherine go back to school and I'll hang in for your meeting if that's okay.
sure, no problem.
Thank you.
Catherine, thank you so much. Both Brian and I have your email, but I did send you a chat asking if you're able to send us the presentation and we can post it to members who weren't able to attend today.
Yeah, I'll email that to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.
Bye.
I all.
Okay, I wanted to share the grapevine here because I want to show you who's coming as speakers and what's going on in January. Okay. Oh, and also we're having a board meeting on Tuesday, January 12th, and I'll be sending you invites for that. Also, the next speaker is Sandy Rosenthal. She found the nonprofit levies.org. And she's going to talk about the Hurricane and Katrina and what they're doing to the levees to prevent any massive floods they had before. After that, the following week is this guy named Stephen Campbell, and he's going to talk about flourishing in these unprecedented times. I think everybody could use that. And then on the 28th, we have our social event, who's going to be hosted by our newest leader, our newest member, Jessie. All right, Jessie?
That's
I think she
correct.
stepped away. Oh, there she is.
I'm
Okay.
here
Yeah.
now. Sorry, I had to grab my charger.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It should be fun.
Good, good. And then we have speakers on February 4th. We have the founder of Rotary's Children Fund and coordinator for the Cultural Youth Exchange. It's called Golden Gate. So we're packed this whole month. And I'm probably filled. Actually, I am filled for next month too with speakers. I haven't just got them confirmed yesterday.
And you picked February as your month of
Oh,
doing
yeah.
something fun.
February 11th, it's going to be a Valentine theme. So you can bring your significant other and we can have a great time drinking and whatever. My question is, should we have it during lunch or should we have it like at 6?
I'll leave it up to the club to decide that. Greg, you're going to be there, right? You're my honorary date for.
Yeah, we got to order our froyo, make sure it gets delivered at the same time.
Exactly. Do you
Okay.
guys? So okay, hold on. So raise your hand if you want it at lunch. Okay, raise your hand if you want it at 6 dinner. Dinner it is.
Could probably, yeah. I mean, either way would
If you
probably work.
didn't vote, you didn't show up, you don't get it.
All right, good.
Brian, before we go, I think we have to ask Sue McKinney to tell us whether that's an artificial background or whether she's actually in Tahiti.
No, this is my plant.
Oh, you're at home here.
I'm in Mendocino. I can't go home to Vietnam right now. I can't travel there. And I returned from Vietnam at the end of January, expecting to turn around and go back 2.5 weeks later, and the world changed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm fortunate. I've got somebody in my house there taking care of things, and I don't expect to go back before next summer. I'm not at all interested in getting on an airplane these days.
You mean 2022?
No, I would consider going in 2021.
But
late,
after the summer?
but I want to see how the vaccines go out. I'm actually my business involves medicine, and I'm doing some clinical trials, and one of the people doing that got a $250 million grant from the US to do other research on the vaccines. So I want to wait and see what they have to say. I feel like I'll have a real unbiased opinion. And I'm very fortunate here at my home in Mendocino that I can isolate, and thanks to Zoom, I can do a lot of my work. There are some things I'm missing by not being able to go to conferences and medical seminars and stuff, but everybody's in that boat. I'm lucky that our business in Vietnam, they don't actually need me. They're doing great. And Vietnam has primarily defeated the virus. They're mostly totally back to normal. I see my friends going to restaurants and having parties, and but we're very, very lucky for everything we do have. If you haven't been tuning in to our district's town hall meetings on COVID, I'm just so impressed with the medical expertise we have in our district. Those meetings have been terrific.
Good tip.
Sue, did you have to close your store, or is somebody running it for you?
No, I closed my store several years ago because the new business I'm in botanical medicine, natural plant-based it's just all consuming. So that's why we're doing a little bit of export from some of the products that we used to have in the store. I had a beautiful store, and I would hold cocktail parties there for those of you that would make it to Saigon, but I had to make a choice of where my time was needed the most. So.
Well, thank you for spending a few minutes with us. We appreciate it.
Oh, always.
Wow, sounds exciting. My brother is in Thailand and he's kind of stuck there. He has a house that he's trying to get rid of, but he needs the money to come back to this country. But he's in Thailand. I mean, he's going to a gym, working out.
Yeah,
Amazing.
They've all done a good job. Yeah.
Well, that's what the conference is this year. They're trying to get me to go, and I'm like, I'm not going to Taipei.
I don't think Taipei will let us in.
No, I don't
they're pushing. Get your room, get your flights. I'm like, you get a room, you get a flight. I'm good.
Not.
I signed up for Hawaii, by the way.
I went to Hawaii.
Taipei.
Yeah. Hawaii, I think, is pretty safe having.
No, I know. That's why I chose this year.
It was because it was Hawaii.
Yeah.
A little bit expensive to get tested, but they've got.
It's okay. I have it planned for June, but that's why I chose this year as president. So I'm a little bitter.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I got tested at a mobile clinic here in Fort Bragg on Tuesday, and they just texted me the results today.
That's nice.
And it was free.
That's nice.
Good.
Good.
There's a phone number you can call in California, and you give them your zip code, and they tell you where the nearest mobile center is.
Thanks for the tip. So,
Jerry,
did your Santa drop off your gifts for you?
That's what I was going to mention. I got a pair of socks. One of the socks says, "If you can read this." This guy. And then yesterday I received a shirt.
That's cute.
Scotch-aholic or Scotch or whatever. I don't even know what it says.
We can see it. We're good, Jerry.
All right. So
Okay.
I think the Secret Santa, but I don't know who it was.
I'm not going to tell you. I just got word that they sent it and they apologized. It was late.
You it wasn't, and I'm not sure that you're sure you're not the one.
I was Dave Olson. Remember I got him the potty putter?
Are you wearing that shirt with a kilt?
No. I have, yeah, right. No kilt on. Let's put that way.
Pants are fine, Jerry. Pants are fine.
And
But
I'm
your,
sure if the
your
Secret
Santa wanted to
Santa,
apologize for being late and wanted to make sure that you got everything.
yeah, I'm sure if the Secret, if your Secret Santa had been in more meetings, they probably would have bought you a microphone.
Yeah. Well, I seem to be working now. I'm on the same computer and everything's working.
So now we know why he went off camera. He went and got his dressed up in his outfit.
Yeah, no, I had it ready.
Now we get it. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you guys.
All right. See you next
See you
week.
later. Take care.
Okay,
All right.
Guys, have a
bye.
good one.
Roger, take care.